Greetings, friends. Happy International Women's Day! Or is it? The fact is, today, 163 million of my sisters and myself do not have equality of rights under the U.S. Constitution. At Shakti Revolution, it is our belief that our future is dependent upon the spiritual development of women and girls. Yet, in 2020, the ERA still remains the low-hanging fruit for equality in the U.S. I want to present how many amazing women in the U.S. there are. We have raised many beautiful children. We command 58% of our nation's buying power, make 80% of the healthcare decisions. There are more women than men in college today, as well as female grads, college grads. We have more choices in relationships and careers. We're making more money than ever before, yet we're not happier than women a generation ago. We can do it all. Does that mean we have to? Research has shown that 20 to 30% of US women are on antidepressants. Many feel isolated and are afraid to be seen and heard, or just plain don't feel like they're good enough. The fact is that most US citizens do not know women's history because we're not taught women's history in schools. We are kept in the dark. This is a strategy to keep us down. The Dalai Lama himself says that Western women will save the world. Well, how can we do this if we're not respected as equals in a world where our value is quantified by how much we can work, often for free, or consume or produce? Did you know that women under the US law do not have equality under the Constitution? This is true. And despite the ERA being passed by both houses of Congress in 1972, backed by popular opinion by all US citizens, by I think 80% of US citizens. Here we are, International Women's Day 2021. We are tantalizingly close to passing the amendment because this has been ratified by 38 states and is now supported by 90% of our population. 90% of our population believes in equality of rights for everyone. The House has passed a bill to remove a bogus deadline. This resolution to remove the deadline is now in the US Senate, awaiting vote. And it was passed last February. Mitch McConnell said, this really isn't important to me, and I'm not a fan. So it's been waiting in the US Senate for over a year. We received another kick in the crotch last Friday, where the ERA case was thrown out by a federal judge in Virginia. More on this later. I'm asking you, as a US citizen, to please take action for women and girls today by signing a petition or reaching out to your senator to let them know this is important to you. A little her story. You might ask, what is ERA? That is the Equal Rights Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. The text of the amendment says, equality of rights under U.S. law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any other state on account of sex or gender. This affects things like equality of pay, family law cases, cases around domestic violence, and overall violence against women. More on this later. So 50 years later, as I say, we're so close. 38 states have ratified the ERA, and the House has passed a bill to remove the deadline. This is the low-hanging fruit for equality. A little bit more on the current status. In January of 2020, Virginians made history when they flipped the House and the Senate to a gender equality sense majority. This is the first time in over 40 years. Women in Virginia fought hard for this. And feminists, we have many brothers that are helping us with this. We need to Join with our brothers. The most amazing feminists I know, frankly, are men. Just saying. Those elected officials made great progress delivering the will of 80% of Virginians that they wanted constitutionalized gender equality when they became the 38th and final state needed to ratify the amendment. However, this was not recorded by our national archivist due to a Department of Justice Trump-era recommendation. The United States House of Representatives continued this battle when they passed H.J. Resolution 79 to remove the deadline on February 13th of 2020. With bipartisan support, they became one step closer to guaranteeing equality regardless of gender by removing the deadline placed on the amendment. But SJ 6 in the Senate is facing an uphill battle with the future of women and girls and children beyond the binary line, people beyond the binary line, and their rights on the line. We must act to pressure our senators to listen to the will of the American people. Pink hats are cool, but they're not enough. It's time to take our place in history and lead with love desperately needed in so many areas of our society. If we uplift women in the US, we uplift the entire planet. Women are powerful. We must ask ourselves as US citizens, who are we and what do we want? We need to speak the truth. And the truth is that our government has never supported women, and many lawmakers have spent the last 4 years defending a misogynist criminal. Much of our energy has been wasted on this. Now is the time for us to show up, speak up, and be seen. When we uplift the sacred feminine, we uplift all of humanity. We must act now to support our mothers, our sisters, and our daughters, and the future of humanity. Now is the time to urge members of the Senate to support this resolution. Please take action today and tell your senator there is no deadline on equality. Let's make gender equality law in 2021. And then move on to the next low-hanging fruit for equality together. All of us. We are one. Please take the time to learn more about the ERA and what it would mean for women and other marginalized genders. Women are so powerful and needed now. Please support ERA. Thank you.